It went back and forth. It seesawed from the 8th inning onward. The emotions were high. Emmanuel Clase failed to get it done as Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton hit home runs to help the Yankees take the lead. But fear not, Big Christmas was underway. Lane Thomas getting it all the way to second base before Noel gets to bat to help tie the game. And also David Fry with a walk-off. Bo Naylor breaking through and getting his first hit. Oh my God. What a postseason it has been, and the Guardians now have made this a series, but they have to even the series later on tonight in an 8 o'clock game. We'll talk about all of that coming up here on Raw Takes with Andrew Hoty. Raw Takes with Andrew Hoty. Like, subscribe, comment below. As always, as I said, like, comment, subscribe, and also check us out on social media. We are on Instagram at Hoty Raw Takes. We are on Facebook, Raw Takes with Andrew Hoty, and Twitter /X. Hoty Andrew is where you could find me. All right, hope everyone had a great night, especially everybody in Cleveland sleeping tight as the New York Yankees go down 2-1. Now, I'm just going to say right off the rip, I don't think the Yankees are panicking about anything. They're still up in this series, and we still have to go back to New York if we end up winning another game. They could still seal the deal the next 2 games, possibly. So we'll see what happens, but it's going to be on the Guardians to make this more of a series than just 2-1. And I think they have the potential to do so. But we'll talk about that later on. So let's just get into the basic points here of that game. It was an emotional roller coaster. We were up the whole time thanks to Kyle Manzardo getting a 2-run homer. And then we had an insurance run later on. And then the Yankees essentially snatched our soul and took it right again at the end of the game. And that stadium looked silent and dead and just not that enthusiastic crowd we saw the entire game. But then Big Christmas comes up to the plate with the last out of the game with Lane Thomas on second and ties the ball game at 5. And we go to extra innings, and David Fry walks it off. Pedro Avila kind of picking up a little bit of the mess from the bullpen. I thought he had a pretty solid 10th inning getting to Aaron Judge and to Giancarlo Stanton. And, oh, man, what a game that was. Just so many emotions. It was an emotional roller coaster. And let's just cherish the moment. If you're in Cleveland, just cherish this moment because that game was special. It truly was. It's definitely one of the baseball games I've ever watched in my entire life. It was amazing. The emotional roller coaster of it. The drama, the energy, the fun that was there. It was awesome. What a ball game that was. And then you look on the other side of it, too, for the Yankees. Why do they need to panic? They're up 2-1 in this series. They could easily come back and win today and make it a 3-1 series. Look what the Dodgers did to the Mets yesterday. The Dodgers destroyed them, and the Mets are now on the brink. The Yankees could easily do the same thing. And the other thing, too, is the Yankees are in the Guardians' home stadium. So, it could happen. Baseball's a tricky sport. But at the same time, just cherish games like that because you're probably not going to see a game like that for a long, long time. That was special. It truly, truly was. But, as I said, we have made this a series again. That's going to be the big thing. I'm not so sure the Guardians are going to win this series, but I'll tell you what. If they play like they did yesterday, they could get 2 or 3 games minimum. And I think this is going to be a deep series. I think we're going to see a Game 6 or a Game 7, just based on the way the Guardians have been playing. They're resilient. They don't fight until the end. They will grind it out. And I said this yesterday on social media. The term guards ball, in my view, is grinding it out until you win. And that's what the Guardians have done all season long. They've been resilient. They've gone to extra innings numerous times to win ball games. They've been playing their hearts out. They play their asses off, and they get the wins. They have the wins to back it up, and they have the clutch moments to back it up. Jhonkensy Noel has been clutch all year. David Fry has been clutch all year, and it's translated in the postseason. We haven't seen that from Josh Naylor. Josh Naylor was one of our best hitters this season. He's second on the team in home runs, and we haven't seen him do squat. Jose Ramirez has had an okay postseason, but I think David Fry's had a better postseason. I think Lane Thomas has had a better postseason. Jhonkensy Noel, possibly. Like yesterday was special for Noel, but at the same time, Quan has had a special postseason too, but he hasn't hit it out of the ballpark. And Brian Rocchio at the end of the day, I know he had not a great day yesterday, but Brian Rocchio has been getting comfortable and getting some bats going. I think we could see Rocchio still continue his stretch. So for me, this is a special moment if you're a Guardians fan to just embrace this for what it is, and let's move on, get Game 4 tonight, hopefully. It's essentially a bullpen game for both teams. Gavin Williams is starting for us. Are we going to get the Gavin Williams that's been streaky and inconsistent, battling injury, or are we going to get the Gavin Williams coming out who is absolutely locked in and is going to shut down the Yankees at all costs. That remains yet to be seen, but essentially it's kind of a bullpen game for both teams. Luis Gil is going to be pitching for the New York Yankees. I think that is also a kind of favorable matchup. I kind of am waiting to see what happens when we get Garrett Cole back, and if the Guardians are going to be able to hit off him, that's going to be a challenging ask. But, this is a best-of-7 series, and now it's 2-1. You have the opportunity to tie this thing right back up, and then it could be anybody's series. It really could be if you make it a 2-2 series. Obviously, you would still have to go and win a game in New York, but at the end of the day, make this a 2-2 series. You go back to that ballpark, you may feel a little bit more comfortable. You may feel like you have somewhat of an advantage playing back at home from the games prior, and you carry that momentum over. The Yankees essentially smoked you games 1 and 2. Game 1, I think, was a little bit more mismanagement, and Game 2, honestly, was more so the Yankees were just a better team and outclassed you on every level. Game 3 was Guardians baseball. Grind it out till you win, and that's exactly what they did. And the Yankees fell apart because of it. We saw Luke Weaver fall apart, and Emmanuel Clase fell apart too. Luke Weaver is the Yankees' closer, essentially. And what we saw is how you beat the Yankees multiple games in a row. They don't have a very good bullpen. Their bullpen is shaky. It's been shaky all year. And the Guardians got to it last night. Thanks to John Kenzie Noel with a special play, and David Fry walking one off. That was special. It was special, and you're not going to see that very frequently. So props to the Guardians. What a ball game it was. And I'm just excited to see what this turns into. What a season it has been for the Guardians overall. And as I said, even if we don't make it to the World Series, this season was far from a failure. We got this far in a season we didn't even think this team would make the playoffs with the lineups we had listed. And the lineups have overachieved. David Fry, I questioned his all-star status all season long because he was a guy that was acing those lefties, and he really wasn't showing some consistency in June and July. But damn it, after this postseason, he validated his all-star status. He deserved it, and it was well played. And even in this postseason, he's really shown to be clutch. And I think this town will never be buying him a drink again. And that's courtesy of another friend of mine, my good buddy Ryan, if he's watching. That was his line. So I want to give him the proper credit there. But David Fry probably will never buy a drink again in Cleveland after a play like that. And same thing with John Kenzie Noel. That was special. That was truly just a special baseball game. I am in awe of it. But there's no time to just be in awe. We have Game 4. You got to carry that momentum into this one, because this one with Luis Gil pitching for the Yankees, I think you have a damn good chance. If we get good Gavin Williams tonight, I think the Guardians could lock in and possibly win this game and tie this series right back up. If not, then I think you do have a problem on your hands. And I'm not taking the Guardians to win this series. I still think the Yankees have the edge. I do. They've shown how they could outclass you time and time again in Games 1 and Game 2. And I'm also going to throw this out there. Stephen Vogt didn't manage a great game yesterday. After putting Emmanuel Clase in, obviously, you pull him and you put in Eli Morgan, which is the right decision. You might want to make Eli Morgan one of those horses in the bullpen, by the way, out of the big four between Herron, Gaddis, Cade Smith, and Clase. I think Morgan deserves it. He's pitched pretty well this postseason. He got in a little bit of a tricky situation. Then you put in Andrew Walters, and Andrew Walters was able to strike out Juan Soto. So, I don't want to give Andrew Walters too much crap, but Andrew Walters is not a guy I think is ready for this moment yet. I think he has some stuff for down the line, but right now Andrew Walters is just not ready for postseason baseball, and we saw it overall in some of the appearances he's made, but he did strike out Juan Soto, and that ninth inning was tricky. The ninth inning we had a guy on second and third thanks to an error, and Jose Ramirez couldn't get a guy out because of the ball dropping out of his glove in the middle of a rundown. That's pretty pathetic. You don't deserve to win games like that. And then you also have the double play from Josh Naylor and Jose Ramirez in the bottom of the ninth, and you're down to your last out. Lane Thomas gets on base, and John Kenzie Noel hits it all the way to the lake. That's just insane. It's absolutely insane that they were able to get that done. And also to mention here in Cleveland, what a festive weekend this is going to be. We have the Guardians in town kicking some butt. Hopefully they keep it up with a special playoff series so far, the way it's looking. And you also have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We have the induction ceremony. Foreigners getting inducted out of many. Of Mary J. Blige, I believe, is another one. Some great names being inducted this weekend. It's a special time to be in Cleveland. And Nick Chubb's coming back. I don't even want to throw that out there. Nick Chubb's coming back. I want to kind of forget about the Browns under any other circumstance because of how poor they've played this year. But darn it, I'm going to be watching Sunday because Nick Chubb is back, and that's going to give us some energy. And maybe Nick Chubb has a really good game. Not saying the Browns are going to win, but it's a special time in Cleveland right now. And that game made it even more special to go into this weekend with all the great things coming to town. And I say, damn it, let's go. Let's go. Go Guardians. What a special win. And back to Stephen Vogt just briefly. As I said, I don't think he managed the best game. But overall, the players delivered, and Stephen Vogt has still done an incredible job this season, so I'm not going to hit him too hard on that. But we got Game 4 to worry about. Let's try to even this series up. Go Guardians. Big one tonight. And let's see what happens. All right, quickly on the Browns before we wrap up this quick edition of Raw Takes today. I just want to emphasize the Amari Cooper trade, I think, was very, very stupid. And I think it may backfire on the Browns if they start to slowly turn things around. In terms of turning things around, I mean like maybe win 5, 6, 7 games. That's what I mean by turn it around. I think it's a dumb move. I think it was stupid that there was a leak saying that the Browns were talking with the 49ers about getting Brandon Ayuk and putting Cooper in the deal. I think that demotivated Amari Cooper, and I think Cooper now going to the Buffalo Bills is going to be a huge benefit for them, and it puts the Browns in a hellhole. It really does. Now, we get Nick Chubb back, and I'm excited to see Nick Chubb, and I think he's electric. I think he's going to be great. I think he brings some juice to the fan base, and I think we're going to have a much better running game that we didn't see coming for the last couple seasons without Nick Chubb. But you know what? That doesn't mean too much to me. That doesn't mean we're going to turn this season around after a 1-5 start. Nick Chubb said it best this week. We're 1-5. It's who we are. We got to go out there and play. And Nick Chubb coming back is going to be special just because of how much he means to the city. His letter was phenomenal. I'm excited about Nick Chubb. I'm not excited about the Browns. There's too much miscues from everybody on that Browns team to make me believe that this team is going to be any kind of threat to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals, of course, though, in recent years have had bad history playing the Cleveland Browns. And I believe Joe Burrow 1-5 in his career against Cleveland, but I still just don't think it's going to happen. I just think the Browns are bad, and I think everything about them is bad, and they have a lot of things to work on. And they made some kind of ridiculous moves overall, trading Amari Cooper and just trying to figure out what the hell's going on, essentially. I mean, I just don't know. The Browns, to me, are a mystery, and it's a damn shame. It really is. But I'm excited for Nick Chubb to be back. Denver kicking the butt out of the Saints makes me feel better about maybe winning an NFC game later this year. And obviously, it's also because Derek Carr's not in. But, you know, the Saints, we talked about being a great team. I was rambling about how great the Saints were to open the year. And obviously, I'm proven to be wrong now. But, I mean, wow. What a game that was, too. And I'm saying later in the year, because the Browns play the Saints, maybe that gives us a little bit more hope. But, yeah, I think the Browns are in a really bad spot. But I'm really excited to see Nick Chubb come back to the field. I think everybody is. But I worry much more about hoping that baseball team makes a World Series appearance and the Browns getting back on track anytime soon. Let's just be happy Nick Chubb is back. Let's embrace the moment. I'm excited to see him play on Sunday. But I'm much more excited about Nick Chubb, and I'm not at all excited about the Cleveland Browns. So we'll have another edition of Raw Takes coming out this weekend. So stay tuned. It's going to be a packed weekend here on the Raw Takes YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, comment below, and check out the show on social media as always. I'm Andrew Hoty. Those are my Raw Takes, and we'll see you here next time.